Welcome to the Madison Miller podcast. Today is Wednesday, January 29th, 2020. Today I'm going to recap yesterday and so far today from the Australian Open and look ahead to tonight and tomorrow for both the men's and the women's. College basketball, NBA, and NHL looking ahead to tonight as well as looking back on last night and my best bet of the day. Okay, we're going to start with tennis. We'll start on the men's side of things. And without further ado, here we go. Quarterfinals, 2-seeded Novak Djokovic over number 32-seeded Milos Raonic in 3 sets. And what was a good match last night, 7-seeded Alexander Zverev over 15-seeded Stan Wawrinka in 4 sets. And the last quarterfinal, 5-seeded Daniel Time upset 1-seeded Rafael Nadal in 4 sets. And then tomorrow at 3:30 a.m. on ESPN, you have a great match. 3-seeded Roger Federer against 2-seeded Novak Djokovic. I think it'll be an epic match for a semifinal. I think this is the de facto final. The winner of this is going to win the whole thing, I think. All due respect to Daniel Time and Alexander Zverev, that pick is obviously going to come on tomorrow's podcast. But my pick for this, I'm going to go with Djokovic. It'll be a good game. I think that, or I should say a good match. Both these guys, I think, are very capable of winning. But I just feel that Djokovic has a little bit of an edge here. So give me Djokovic, and I think he'll take the whole 5 sets. Now I'll switch over to the women's side of the Australian Open. Yesterday, 4-seeded Simona Halep defeated 28-seeded Alexandra Kontaveit in 2 sets. And we have an upset, Muguruza over 30-seeded Pavlyuchenkova in 2 sets. 10:30 ESPN2 tonight, semifinals, 1-seeded Ashley Barty against 14-seeded Simona Kenin. I think this is Ashley Barty's to lose. She's the better tennis player, and I meant to say Sophia Kenin instead of, Simona Halep. That was the name I had in my head. So give me Ashley Barty here. I think it'll be a good match. I think it'll go to 3. I think that Sophia Kenin will make this a little competitive. And at 11:30 ESPN2, 4-seeded Simona Halep against Gabriela Muguruza. I think Halep wins this in 2. I just think Halep's significantly better, and I think she lucked out a little bit here. So I think we'll end up with a final here of Halep and Barty, which would be pretty cool on Friday night. And we'll obviously pick that match on Friday's show. Now we'll do college basketball. We'll look back on yesterday's games and look ahead to everything tonight. Number 8, Villanova or St. John's, 79-59. Villanova is now 17-3. St. John's 13-9. A&M over Tennessee, 63-58. A&M 10-9. Tennessee 12-8. Virginia over number 5, Florida, 61-56. Virginia 14-6. Florida State 17-3. Mississippi State over Florida, 78-71. Mississippi State 13-7. Florida 12-8. Cincinnati over SMU, 65-43. Cincinnati 13-7. SMU 15-5. VCU over Richmond, 87-68. VCU 16-5. Richmond 15-6. Rhode Island over George Mason, 78-64. Rhode Island 15-5. George Mason 13-8. So Rhode Island on a nice little run right now in the A-10. Every week it feels like it's somebody different in this conference that's making it interesting, and I'd say it's Rhode Island right now. Buffalo over Akron, 77-74. Buffalo 14-7. Akron 16-5. Kent State over Toledo, 83-70. Kent State 15-6. Toledo 11-10. Clemson over Syracuse, 71-70. Clemson 11-9. Syracuse 13-8. Michigan over Nebraska 79-68. Michigan 12-8. Nebraska 7-14. Bowling Green over Ball State 67-61. Bowling Green 16-5. Ball State 11-9. Georgia Tech over Morehouse 82-54. Georgia Tech is now 10-11. Number 25 Rutgers over Purdue 70-63. Purdue drops to 11-10. Rutgers improves to 16-5. Miami over Virginia Tech 71-61. Miami 11-9. Virginia Tech 14-7. Northern Illinois over Ohio 61-59. Northern Illinois 12-9. Ohio 10-11. Mizzou over Georgia 72-69. Mizzou 10-10. Georgia 11-9. Number 9 Duke over Pitt 79-67. Duke 17-3. Pitt 13-8. Number 16 Butler over Georgetown 69-64. Butler 17-4. Georgetown 12-9. Number 17 Auburn over Ole Miss 83-82 in double overtime. Auburn came back from double digits down with, I believe it was 6 minutes to play. Auburn goes to 18-2, Ole Miss 10-10. Fresno over Air Force 79-68. Fresno 7-14, Air Force 9-13. Utah State over Wyoming 68-45. Utah State 17-6, Wyoming 5-17. Central Michigan and Miami of Ohio was postponed due to some viruses going around. We have one final already today. Army over Bucknell 68-59. Army 10-10, Bucknell 9-13. The rest of the slate tonight, 6:30 Fox Sports 1, DePaul, number 10, Seton Hall. Hall's favored by 9. I'm laying it with Seton Hall. I make the Seton Hall by 10. I just think Seton Hall is the best player on the floor in Miles Powell, and they should be able to win this game by double digits. Vandy at number 13 to Kentucky. 6:30 SEC New York. Kentucky is a 20-point favorite. I think that's right where it should be, and I lay it with the Wildcats here. They're just better than Vandy. Northwestern at number 14, Michigan State. 6:30 Big Ten Network. Michigan State's favored by 17. I'd lay it with the Spartans. They're way better. And I think that we're getting points with value here. I think that Michigan State should be 20 over Northwestern. Number 10, Dayton at Duquesne. 7 o'clock CBS Sports Network. Dayton's favored by 8. I'm taking the 8 with Duquesne. I don't think they'll win the game outright. I just think it's competitive. Number 21, Houston at East Carolina. 7 o'clock ESPN 3. Houston's favored by 13. I think this is a little trap game, so I'm going to take East Carolina in the points, but I do think Houston will win. Alabama at number 22, LSU, 7 o'clock ESPN 2. LSU is a 5-point favorite. I would make this LSU by 6, so there's a point of value here with the Tigers, and I'd lay the 5, certainly. St. Joe's, UMass, 7 o'clock ESPN Plus. UMass is favored by 6.5. I think that's low. I'd lay with UMass. St. Joe's is terrible this season, so give me UMass. Minus 6.5. Stony Brook, UMass Lowell, Monmouth, St. Peter's, Loyola, Maryland, Boston College, Memphis, UCF on ESPNU. Memphis is a 2-point favorite. I'm taking UCF. I just think that Memphis is a team heading in the wrong direction right now, and UCF isn't terrible. I just think that this is a little bit of a closer game than people expect. So give me UCF plus the 2. And I think they'll win the game outright. Valparaiso and Bradley. Bradley's giving 5.5. That's crazy. It's crazy how things change. Bradley was one of the worst teams in this conference a few years ago. Now they're coming off a tournament appearance, and they're gonna certainly be in play for that auto bid again. I'm going to take Valpo plus the 5.5, but I don't think Valpo will win the game necessarily. So give me Valpo plus the 5.5. I just think it's a little close. Drake, Indiana State. Indiana State's giving 3.5. I'd take Drake in the points. I just think that Drake's a little bit better. I'd make this a pick'em. Davidson, George Washington, 7 o'clock ESPN Plus. Davidson's giving 4.5. I'd make this probably Davidson by 1. If not, then maybe 2, but I'm taking George Washington in the points, and I think they actually win the game outright. St. Bonaventure, Fordham. Bonnie's giving 6.5 at Fordham. I'm going to lay it with Bonaventure. Right now, they're playing better than Fordham. Best player on the court as well. So give me St. Bonaventure giving the 6. I really like Kyle Lofton of Bonaventure. I think he'll lead them to a win. Wake and Notre Dame. Notre Dame's giving 9.5. I think that's a big number, so I'm taking Wake in the points. But I do think that Notre Dame will win. ESPN News, Temple at UConn. UConn's giving 5.5. It was 6 yesterday. It dropped a half point. I still like Temple. I think Temple's live here. I think UConn is probably the most overrated team in college basketball. It's close. It's between them and a couple others. Davidson's among them as well. So give me Temple plus 5.5. I just love fading the hell out of UConn. Lafayette, Colgate, Holy Cross, Navy, Binghamton, Hartford, Vermont, New Hampshire, Albany, UMBC, Missouri State, Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa is giving 10. I lay it. Northern Iowa is really, 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 really good. Their losses this season are to West Virginia, Southern Illinois, and Illinois State. So they have 2 losses in conference play. So I don't know if this will be a at-large team or not. Probably not. They'll probably be like a 12 seed that's everybody's darling. But I'd lay the 10 with Northern Iowa against the underachieving Missouri State team. Wofford in the Citadel, Mercer, East Tennessee State, VMI Furman, UNC Greensboro, Western Carolina. These 2 teams are combined 29 and 11. Greensboro's giving 5.5 on the road. That's too many points. Greensboro's good, but I think that they shouldn't be favored by that much on the road. So give me Western Carolina plus the points. I think that they can win outright. 7:30 A&M, Corpus Christi, Sam Houston State, Nichols, McNeese, Chattanooga, Samford. 8 o'clock ESPN Plus, number 12, West Virginia, Texas Tech. Why is this game not on regular TV? I don't know. I think that ESPN and company thought that the Mountaineers weren't going to be this good of a bounce-back story, but here they are, and they obviously thought that Texas Tech was probably going to be where West Virginia is right now. I think that the Big 12 and really ESPN in general probably thought that these 2 teams would be in reversed roles. But no. TU is giving 2.5 at home. I'm going to lay it here. West Virginia is a good team, but I just think that this is a tough spot in a game that Texas Tech has to win. Texas Tech is under immense pressure right now to get in the tournament. So give me Texas Tech minus the 2.5 in a game that they absolutely have to have. Incarnate Word in Houston Baptist. Texas TCU. TCU is giving 4. I'm taking Texas plus the 4. I think Texas can win the game outright. And I think they will, actually. Northwestern State, New Orleans, Evansville, Illinois State. Illinois State's giving 7. That's 20 points. Give me Evansville plus the 7. I think it's competitive. And Illinois State will probably win. Southeast Louisiana, Central Arkansas. Loyola, Chicago, Southern Illinois. Loyola's giving 4. I lay it. Don't feel good about it, though. They're starting to play a little bit better here in conference play. South Dakota State, Oral Roberts. South Florida, Tulane. South Florida is a 1-point road favorite. I can't figure that out for the life of me. I love Tulane getting the point at home. I think South Florida's overvalued. Tulane's undervalued. I don't get why people think that Tulane's this bad team. They're not that bad. So give me Tulane plus 1. They'll win the game outright. St. Louis, LaSalle. LaSalle is getting 3.5 at home. I'd lay it with St. Louis, though. I just think that St. Louis is a better team than LaSalle. And I don't like how LaSalle's looked in conference play thus far. Oklahoma at Kansas State. Kansas State's a 1-point favorite. Can't figure out this line for the life of me. God, this is terrible. I'm going to lay the point with the Wildcats. I know one of these lines is off. And either South Florida or Kansas State, one of these undeserving-ish kind of favorites are going to win. I would make this game Oklahoma by 2.5, but just on gut feeling, I think Kansas State is going to win. 8:30, Big Ten Network, Indiana at number 24, Penn State. Penn State's giving 5.5. I'm taking Indiana plus the points. I think Indiana's going to win the game outright. Marquette, Xavier on Fox Sports 1. Xavier's giving 1.5 at home. I am taking the underdog to win outright. Best player on the court will be Marcus Howard. South Carolina at Arkansas, 8:30, SEC Network. Arkansas's giving 6.5. They're falling off a little bit. I'm taking the points at South Carolina. I don't know if South Carolina's going to win the game, but I just think it's competitive. Abilene Christian, Stephen F. Austin. 9 o'clock ESPNU, number 1 Baylor at Iowa State. These 2 teams played a few weeks ago. And Baylor won by double digits, and now Baylor is only giving 4. I love Baylor in this spot. I think a lot of people are going to be on Iowa State because they're going to notice low number, redemption game, yada, yada. But I just like the spot for Baylor. I'm not in love with this Iowa State team at all. They're not going to make the tournament this year. This is a down year for them. So give me Baylor minus the 4. CBS Sports Network number 4, San Diego State at New Mexico. San Diego State's giving 11.5. New Mexico's fallen off after a good start. So I'm going to lay the points with San Diego State, but I don't feel good about it. ACC Network number 16, Louisville at Boston College. I'm taking Boston College plus the 11.5. That line's too big. I think I'd make this game Louisville by 8. Because I'd make this game 14 if it was at the Yum Center. So, give me BC plus the 11.5. I think this is like an 8-point game. Cal Baptist at Utah Valley. San Jose State at Boise State. Boise State's giving a whopping 15.5. That line's too big. Give me San Diego State. Or San Jose State, my bad. I think this is like a 10-point game. Nevada, Colorado State. Colorado State's a 4-point home favorite. I make this Colorado State by 3. So you can make a case for getting a point of value here at Nevada. But I'm going to lay it with Colorado State, though, because I just think that they're playing pretty good right now, and they're a better team than Nevada right now. So give me Colorado State minus the 4. Last but not least, 11 o'clock ESPNU, Arizona State at Washington State. Arizona State's minus 2. I am taking Washington State. I think that this line is based on past reputation for Arizona State and Bobby Hurley. They're not that good this year. Give me Washington State plus the 2 at home to pull off the outright upset. NBA, we're going to go over last night's games and look ahead to tonight's slate. Hornets over the Knicks, 97-92. The Hornets are 16-31. The Knicks are 13-35. Sixers over the Wizards, 115-104. Sixers 31-17. Wizards, or Warriors, my bad, 10-38. Pelicans over the Cavs, 125-111. Pelicans 19-29. Cleveland 13-35. Raptors over the Hawks, 130-104. Raptors 33-14. Hawks 12-36. Bucks over the Wizards, 151-131. Milwaukee 41-6. Washington 15-31. Grizzlies over the Nuggets, 104-96. Grizzlies 23-24. Denver 32-15. Celtics over the Heat, 109-101. Boston 31-15. Miami 32-15. Suns over the Mavs, 133-104. Phoenix 20-27. Dallas 29-18. Kristaps Porzingis. Oh, he did play in this game. I thought he was hurt, so I thought that final score was a little deceiving, but wow, that's a terrible loss for the Dallas Mavericks. Porzingis obviously was sucked in the game, 2 for 8, with 9 points and 3 boards. And you could just argue the Mavs are a one-man team, and we overrated Kristaps Porzingis. That might be a really good overreaction case as the rest of the season goes on. And then obviously Clippers-Lakers was postponed due to the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant. Game will be made up at a later date. Tonight, 7 o'clock, Bulls at the Pacers. 7:30 ESPN, Pistons at the Nets. Brooklyn's a 7-point favorite. On the call this game, I think, will probably be Mark Jones and Doris Burke. I'm taking the Pistons in the 7. I think Brooklyn's overvalued because of the return of Kyrie Irving. And because Blake Griffin's hurt. I'm not suggesting the Pistons are going to win this game outright, but I think that I would make Brooklyn like a 4.5 or 5-point favorite rather than 7. And this line is trying to tell me that the Nets would be favored in Detroit. I think this game would be Detroit by 1 in Detroit, so that would make it Nets by 2 on a neutral, which means Nets by 5 at home. So I think I can get some value here at the Pistons, so give me Detroit plus the 7. 7:30 of the Grizzlies at the Knicks, 8:30 the Jazz at the Spurs, 10 o'clock the Thunder at the Kings, and 10 o'clock on ESPN, the Rockets at the Trailblazers. On the call this game will probably be Dave Pasch and Mark Jackson. Houston's giving 2.5 on the road. I'd lay it. Don't feel good about it, though. I think James Harden should be back for this game. You'll have Westbrook back. Eric Gordon's coming off that good game, so you could make a case for a letdown here, but I just like how Houston's playing right now. And I do expect Harden to come back tonight. So give me Houston minus the 2.5 on the road in Portland. Now we'll talk hockey. We'll go over the scores from last night and look ahead to tonight. 2 games last night. Senators over the Sabres 5-2. Ottawa 18-23-9. Buffalo 22-21-7. Blues over the Flames 5-4 in a shootout. St. Louis 31-12-8. Calgary 26-19-6. 6 games tonight. That's a lot for a Wednesday. 7:30 NBCSN. The Predators at the Capitals. Doc Emmerich, Eddie Olczyk, Brian Boucher on the call. I'm going to take the Caps here at home. They're just playing really good right now. They're the President's Trophy favorites. And the Preds really have underachieved all season long. So give me the Capitals here at home. 7:30 as well. Maple Leaf Stars. 10 o'clock Flames Oilers. Coyotes Ducks. NBCSN Lightning at the Kings. I just don't love every year that the league just overrates teams so constantly. Red Wings, Kings, Rangers, all these teams that are bad that keep getting national games. So the Rangers aren't that bad, like Red Wings, Kings bad, but they're not good. And it's just crazy that all these big market / original 6 teams are getting these many national TV games. Obviously, Kings have that past reputation. The Blackhawks are in that conversation as well, of teams that are getting too much love when they're not really all that good. I'm going to go with the Lightning here. I think they win by multiple goals. A nice little parlay tonight. I'm not going to make it my best bet, but would be the puck lines of the Lightning and the Capitals in those 2 national games. So give me the Lightning on the road in LA. And it's the Kings' first home game since Kobe Bryant passed away. So that might be like an underdog Kings case. They get up and Staples Center, the whole deal, Kobe, moment of silence. You would expect that. And the Kings' first home game since the passing of Kobe. So despite that, I'm taking the Lightning. And then 10:30, the Canucks at the Sharks. And now my best bet of the day, brought to you by DraftKings. Some interesting numbers as I'm going through the picks for tonight for the podcast. So, best bets of the day. We'll start in college basketball. I'm going to take Temple in the 6. I just think it's the media and the market overrating UConn. And it's an anti-UConn pick, just like I took Tulane a few weeks ago and that covered. I'm taking Temple here. I think Temple's live here, and I think they win the game outright. So give me Temple plus the 6 here for best bet number 1 in college basketball. Now I'll go to the NBA. Best bet here. This is tough. I'm going to go with the Pacers giving 9.5 at home against the Bulls. The return of Victor Oladipo. I think that crowd's going to be ruckus there. I just think the Bulls stink, and I think they're overvalued because they're the Bulls. Just like I think the Knicks are overvalued on occasion. This is one of the occasions I think the big market team that's bad is being overvalued, and that is the Chicago Bulls. So give me the Pacers here as my second best bet, minus the 9.5 at home against the Bulls and the return of Victor Oladipo. So that's it for today on a short show. I'll be back tomorrow, maybe with my top 10 Kobe moments from his career. Tennis, college basketball, NBA, NHL, and my 2 best bets as well as any other news that breaks in the world of sports. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.